Hi everyone, sorry for the delay. I've been a bit busy and there was some drama regarding this series. I just wanted to remind you that it's called Honest Reviews because what I've been doing is talking to people who do Chinese studies at Oxford and asking them to give their honest opinions of the course. It would be really meaningless for me to just film people and get them to endlessly praise the course because everyone knows that it's not perfect, and that's fine. Because no matter where you end up, you should be aware that the course isn't going to be perfect, but you have the right to make an informed decision about where you want to go, so I'm trying to help you out with that. That being said, if you want me to make any specific videos, let me know in the comments. This video is part 3 of the series. I talked to some of my classmates in 3rd year and they give me their opinions and tell me about what they're studying. I talked to quite a few people, so I'm going to be splitting this into 2 parts. This is part 1 and I hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jonah. I go to St Anne's College and I'm a 3rd year student in Oriental Studies studying Chinese. We have a couple of hours of lessons in regard to interpreting, listening to English and Chinese and translating, as well as having a tutorial where we would have to give speeches in Chinese or write an essay in Chinese and do live translations. We also have an hour of classical Chinese, which is the ancient Chinese language, where we translate set text. We also have essays on modern China, which we have to write about and have tutorials based upon that topic. The main thing about 3rd year is that we all choose a module. The modules can either be a humanities subject relating to China, be it modern China or Chinese art or Chinese philosophy or Chinese texts. If you choose this subject, you would have 2 hours of lessons a week which would involve translations and essays with tutorials. You have another option, which is to choose a subsidiary language where you can choose Japanese, Korean or Tibetan. I chose myself Japanese, which means I have 2 hours of Japanese lessons a week and we study through a textbook, we learn vocab and grammar, and next year we will move on to reading texts and writing essays about Japanese history. In regard to self-study, there's a lot of homework which we send in online, which is marked by the teachers. 3rd year is quite interesting and it's quite a big challenge in the sense that in China we had a lot of opportunities to improve our Chinese and to speak every day, but now that we've come back to Oxford, speaking opportunities are very few and far between. We have to push ourselves if we want to improve our Chinese, which means do self-study, find language partners or be able to find opportunities to speak. My advice for those starting Chinese at Oxford is that it's going to be very difficult in the 1st year, and when you go to China, even after studying for a year, you will again encounter many difficulties in language learning and adapting. And in 3rd year you also have challenges in terms of adapting to a self-study routine and being able to motivate yourself. But my main advice is not to give up and to sort of know that although you find it difficult and think you might not get through, you will in the end, and you just have to keep going, be able to know that in the end you will get there and sort of enjoy the journey, however difficult it is.
My name is Isabel and I go to St Hilda's College. I have quite a lot of contact hours. I have a news reading class every morning, that's an optional class. I have 2 classical Chinese classes. I also have a language tutorial and a history tutorial every fortnight and a history lecture every week. My elective paper for this term is on women and writing in Republican-era China. The focus is on literature in the early 20th century in China. I'm finding the course really interesting this year because we have more choice about what we study and the kind of topics that we write our essays about. But the fewer contact hours that we have this term, because we expect us to be more independently motivated and plan our time more, can also be quite difficult because sometimes you have to really take control of your own learning and it's more you get out what you put in, which is fine, but also it's a bit of a change from maybe 1st and 2nd year. So it's more enjoyable, but I feel as though I have less academic support unless I go and seek it out than I might have had in 1st year. When you're in the 3rd year of a 4-year course, generally you won't have any exams, so I would say this is the year to go and enjoy yourself. Maybe take part in some extracurricular activities, volunteer for a charity, do something outside of your course. And don't worry too much about spending every hour in the library because you'll be able to do plenty of that next year from what the 4th years tell me. I'm really enjoying this year. I think it might be my favourite year so far, although China was also great. Anyway, yeah, my biggest piece of advice for third year is just stay motivated and enjoy it.
Hello, my name's Humphrey. I study at Pembroke College. In my third year, having come back from the year abroad, I've developed a few interests more to do with modern Chinese culture and to do with the more individual groups that exist. I will be looking to study more along the lines of what's taught in our China in the World option. Specifically, I want to look at the Chinese diaspora, as in the overseas Chinese in Britain or America, anywhere really. I think in particular Southeast Asia is where I want to look at. I think third year is going very well. Having been away in China for a year, it's good to be back somewhere more familiar, I think. Third year is very good because it's really where you get to look at the things you want to look at more closely with the course. I think in the first year you look at things quite generally, and in the second year you kind of develop more of an interest in more specific areas having been out in China. But in third year you can look quite academically at those areas that you've developed an interest in. I think my advice really with the course is just try and make your academic work link as much as you can with your social life. So I think the way I developed an interest in the course was by making friends who are Chinese, trying out things like I really love Chinese food, so I spent some time working as a waiter. You start to live and breathe China. It sounds like a cliche, but I think you should try and fit into that mold as much as possible.
Fancy schmancy. Do you want to say hi?
No.
It's too late though.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Raindrop. Raindrop. Raindrop.